Imagine sitting at a table with the smartest people you know, thinkers, scientists, successful entrepreneurs, or simply those who see the world differently. One careless sentence can slam the door shut to the world, and you might not even realize it. Ever wonder why truly smart people sometimes seem to ignore you or avoid deeper conversations? It might be because you're using phrases that sound shallow, closed-minded, or block your own growth. Today, we'll reveal 7 things you should never say to smart people and, more importantly, why? Because when you understand the power of words, you open the path to true wisdom, respect, and new opportunities in your life. I know everything best. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. This famous line is the cornerstone of Western philosophy. Socrates taught that real wisdom begins when we admit our own ignorance. Truly wise people never claim to have a monopoly on the truth. Instead, they keep questioning, keep searching for new perspectives, and remain open to being wrong. If you say, "I know everything best," you close yourself off to learning, create walls between yourself and others, and, most importantly, block the wisdom you could gain from those around you. Throughout history, the greatest breakthroughs have come from the courage to doubt, to question, and to stay open-minded. Psychologically, this phrase is often a sign of insecurity or ego defense. Someone who constantly insists they're the smartest in the room is often trying to protect themselves from doubt or criticism. Smart people spot this a mile away. True inner strength comes from having the courage to admit you don't know it all, that you're willing to learn and grow. That's the kind of person others want to listen to and respect. Nobody enjoys talking to someone who's already decided they're always right. I've always done it this way, and I'm not changing. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Einstein perfectly summed up a major paradox of human nature. In both philosophy and life, growth only happens when we're willing to break out of old habits and embrace change. Sticking to the way I've always done it kills creativity and adaptability. The greatest minds in history were always ready to challenge themselves and leave their comfort zones behind for the sake of progress. If you stubbornly refuse to change, you're closing the door on learning, improvement, and new possibilities. From a psychological perspective, this phrase reveals a fear of uncertainty, failure, or the discomfort that comes with learning new things. Our brains crave familiarity, but that's what can keep us stuck. Smart people don't expect miracles without change. They're willing to take risks, make mistakes, and start over, because they know that's where real growth happens. To them, saying "I'm not changing" is not a sign of strength, but of weakness. Write the word courage in the comments if you believe that without change and the willingness to challenge old habits, no real progress is possible. That's obvious. We don't need to discuss it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. This phrase highlights a classic mistake in human interaction, assuming that what's clear to you must be clear to everyone else. Since ancient times, philosophers have warned against the illusion of obviousness. Everyone sees the world through their own lens. No idea is truly obvious until it's been explored and dialogued, and different perspectives are heard. By shutting down a conversation with "that's obvious," you risk misunderstanding and miss out on deeper insight. Smart people ask questions where others think they have answers. They know true wisdom is found in exploring what seems obvious. Psychologically, this phrase often comes from impatience or the fear of complicated discussions. People sometimes avoid deeper conversation because it threatens their comfort or exposes weaknesses in their own arguments. Intelligent people value openness and appreciate different viewpoints. When you refuse to discuss the obvious, you send the message that you care more about being right than understanding others. Real strength lies in a willingness to explore, to listen, and to seek new meaning, even in familiar topics. I never make mistakes. To err is human, but to persist in error is foolish. All of philosophy and science is built on the admission of error. None of history's greatest thinkers could have discovered anything new without being willing to admit mistakes and change their minds. Cicero's insight, making mistakes is natural, even necessary, but refusing to acknowledge them is what keeps us from growing. Saying, "I never make mistakes," puts you above human nature itself. It closes the door to learning and makes you appear arrogant and immature in the eyes of truly intelligent people. The fear of admitting mistakes is rooted in ego and the need to appear perfect. For many, a mistake feels like a sign of weakness, but for the wise, acknowledging mistakes is a sign of strength and courage. Those who admit their errors and learn from them earn genuine respect. Smart people quickly sense whether someone has an open mind or is too afraid of losing status. Remember, admitting a mistake isn't weakness, it's the path to deeper knowledge and personal growth. That's a stupid question. He who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes. He who does not ask is a fool for life. In both philosophy and science, asking questions is a sign of intellectual courage and genuine curiosity. The greatest minds, from Plato to Einstein, have always dared to ask what others thought was unnecessary or naive. Progress is born from those stupid questions that no one has bothered to ask before. When you shut someone down with, "That's a stupid question," you kill their curiosity and the chance to learn something new. For intelligent people, asking questions is a mark of strength, a humility. Everyone starts out ignorant. Sometimes, the simplest questions lead to the most profound discoveries. Psychologically, calling a question stupid often comes from personal insecurity or the fear of appearing uninformed. People who are uncomfortable with their own knowledge sometimes belittle others' questions to feel superior. Smart people know that openness to questions, no matter how basic, is a true sign of confidence. When you discourage questions, you create an atmosphere of fear and shut down creativity. Encouraging questions, on the other hand, helps everyone grow and discover more together. If you agree that asking questions is the key to real wisdom, type the word "question" in the comments. It's easy. I don't get why you don't understand. True wisdom lies in not judging others for what we ourselves do not know. This phrase reveals a fundamental problem in human communication: lack of empathy and respect for others' different experiences. Philosophers like Kant remind us that each person sees and learns differently. Saying something is easy ignores another person's journey and abilities. The wise know their role is to support and guide, not to belittle. Everyone starts somewhere and needs patience or explanation at times. Psychologically, this phrase can come across as arrogance or impatience, a way to make oneself feel superior. Truly smart people recognize that greatness lies in empathy, patience, and a willingness to explain things clearly. When you shame someone for not knowing something, you create distance and destroy trust. But when you support them and respect their learning process, you build loyalty, friendship, and inspire further growth. for both of you. You shouldn't even say that. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. This phrase strikes at the heart of free speech versus closed-mindedness. Voltaire, one of the Enlightenment's great thinkers, believed that truly intelligent people don't fear different opinions. Instead, they see them as opportunities to broaden their own understanding of the world. Telling someone they shouldn't even say that is philosophically dangerous. It leads to dogmatism, ends meaningful discussion, and causes intellectual stagnation. Smart people don't need to silence others. If you have the courage to listen, even when you disagree, you develop critical thinking and genuine respect. Psychologically, this phrase often reflects fear of losing control, fear of having one's beliefs challenged, or simply fear of conflict. People who shut down opposing views close off their minds and lose the ability to learn new things. Intelligent people welcome debate, understanding that different opinions are not threats, but sources of personal and collective growth. Real inner strength is being able to handle disagreement without losing respect for others. If you can listen without shutting people down, you open the door to real wisdom. If you recognize yourself in any of these phrases, don't worry. Realizing your mistakes is the first step to growth. The smartest people aren't the ones with all the answers, but those who are willing to challenge themselves, keep learning, and respect others along the way. Pay close attention to how you communicate today. Do you catch yourself using any of these phrases? What happens if you replace them with openness, curiosity, or respect? Your relationships, career, and life could take on a whole new direction. Write in the comments, which phrase surprised you the most? Or which one do you hear around you all the time? What words would you never want to hear in a conversation with a smart person? Your experience might inspire others to communicate more respectfully, grow, and find the courage to be themselves.